Yo, what's going on YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and we are taking a look today at some great news as we are getting ready for the 2023 NHL Winter Classic. Guys, we are going to keep you up to date with all this stuff. The NHL Winter Classic for 2023 will be held in Boston. We found that out a couple weeks ago at the NHL All-Star Weekend, as Gary Bettman let us know that the Bruins would host for the second time in history, a Winter Classic at Fenway Park, one of the most infamous or famous buildings in the sports universe. And we found out their opponent, a really interesting twist and kind of interesting in terms of the date of the game. We're going to go over all of that today. So, the Boston Bruins will play the NHL's Winter Classic in 2023 back at Fenway Park. And the Bruins are really no stranger to outdoor games, and neither are their opponent, the Bruins, an Original Six franchise, a very rabid fan base. It wasn't really that much of a shock when we found out the Bruins would be hosting it again. And not only again, but in the same venue. This is the first time in NHL history that we will see a Winter Classic at least, more than once at the same venue. So, kind of interesting. And again, is the novelty of it wearing off? I really, in my opinion, I don't think this stuff gets old. As long as you do it not too much, I think there is room for it. And when you're looking at this is going to be a really exciting game, a really good matchup. It's a matchup of the black and gold teams. This is going to be a good one. We have the Boston Bruins going up against another very storied, historic, and successful franchise as of recent, the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Pittsburgh Penguins and the Boston Bruins, very star-studded lineups. This is going to be a really, really good hockey game. Now, you look at the past games for these teams. The Bruins played in one of the first Winter Classics at Fenway Park. They played the Philadelphia Flyers up in Boston. They also played a Winter Classic game against the Montreal Canadiens at Gillette Stadium, the home of the New England Patriots. So they're not strangers to this concept. They've also played in Stadium Series games, I believe, right? I think they played in one Stadium Series game. The Pittsburgh Penguins have played in multiple Stadium Series games against the Flyers. In Pittsburgh, they played in Philly as well I think 2019. They also played in a couple Winter Classics. The first one in Buffalo, they played a Stadium Series against Chicago. They've been all over the place in terms of outdoor games, and that's something that maybe fans are like, all right, this is annoying. We've seen enough of these teams in outdoor games. But listen, this is how this stuff works. Like, they have to, in order to get good TV ratings, you kind of have to blend the big boys in. And these are some of the biggest boys in the industry. Since the new millennia in 2000, the two most successful franchises in terms of regulation points, in terms of during the regular season, the most regulation points during a season and the most wins in that stretch. You know who are 1 and 2 in both of those categories? That's right, the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Boston Bruins. This is going to be a great northeastern matchup, and I'm really excited for it. Now, here's the interesting thing, and this is something that I don't know how much people are really talking about it. They have the picture of Marchand and Crosby up against each other. Those aren't the jerseys they're going to wear. You obviously understand that. We're going to get to that in a second, the jerseys and logos. But in the background, they have Pittsburgh at Boston, Winter Classic, Boston 2023, so they have the logo. And if you look on the right side, something very, very interesting. January 2nd. Now, why is it not January 1st? So, this is something that I'm trying to do a little bit of research on because I don't really know the answer to that on January 2nd, because it's one of those things that we really haven't heard much about. And if you look at it, you're thinking, wait, why is it on January 2nd and not January 1st? So let's take a look here. So this is the official NHL PR presser from the NHL. The Pittsburgh Penguins will be the opponent for the Bruins in the 2023 Discover NHL Winter Classic in Boston on January 2nd. Fenway Park was revealed as the host venue again back in February. And this is from Mike Sullivan. I have all kinds of memories of going to Fenway Park, who grew up in Massachusetts. I've grown up being a huge baseball fan, as was my dad. We watched the Red Sox all the time, blah, blah, blah. The game will be televised exclusively on TNT in the United States and on Sportsnet on TVA Sports in Canada. No start time was announced. This is the second straight year that Discover is the title sponsor for the Winter Classic. The Bruins defeated the Philadelphia Flyers at Fenway Park 2-1 in overtime back in 2010, so it's been 12 years since then. The Penguins have played in 6 outdoor events, so you have a lot there. The Bruins playing in their 5th outdoor game. This will be the 36th outdoor NHL game since the Heritage Classic between the Oilers and the Calgary Flames back in 2003. And the Penguins are principally owned by Fenway Sports Group. Again, so this is the tie there. The Penguins are partially owned by the Fenway Group. So that's kind of what you're looking at there. So kind of interesting, though, they didn't really say why the game is on January 2nd. Now, I'm going to assume that's TV rights for TNT, because I think there's also the sentiment that the NHL's numbers aren't doing as well on January 1st because of all the bowl games in college football. And I will actually tell you this personally. I've been watching the college football playoff bowl games more than I was watching the Winter Classic. Again, as a person that has a YouTube channel devoted to hockey, I was watching more of the college football playoff games. At least the playoff games and the bowl games. So the NHL couldn't compete with that. I think that's an interesting move. And I'm going to assume that's what that's about. So let me know what you guys think of that in the comments down below. That's my thoughts on that side of it. Now we get to the fun part. My predictions for the logos and the jerseys. So we're going to start off for the Bruins here. I think the Bruins could go 2 separate ways here. The more flashy and interesting way, which probably isn't going to happen. So we're going to get that out of the way first. They bring back the Tiger Bear. Now that is the logo they wore from the 1976-77 season up until the 1994-95 season as an alternate logo on their shoulder. They never wore that as a primary logo on the jersey. They also did wear the Pooh Bear jersey, which the season after they revitalized that Tiger Bear. They turned it in the 95-96 season up until the 2006-2007 season. They wore the Pooh Bear jersey, right? Which we all infamously remember in the late 90s, early 2000s. So that's the more interesting route if the Bruins want to bring back some version of that. More realistically, though, I think they will bring back a jersey that we saw, a logo we saw in the 1949-50 season up until the 1994-95 season. So they had that for almost 50 years. And that is that Bruins pinwheel, the black logo, the black circle with the yellow spoke, the golden spokes, and the B in the middle. I think that's what they're actually going to go with and bring some kind of modernized jersey in with that. I think that's what you're looking at for the Bruins. For the Penguins side of things, I think the Penguins are going to go back with the Robo Penguin. How do they not? I mean, they have practically used everything else already. They brought back the Heritage, the Pittsburgh, the blue, teal, baby blue jersey. They brought that back. They've had so many other games where they brought in the Penguin skating. Let's bring back Robo Penguin. I think it's been long enough. The last time we saw it was the 2002 NHL season. Listen, it's been 20 years since then. I think it's time to bring that back, and I think fans would go absolutely nuts for that jersey. Now, they may bring that back as the reverse retro instead, but if they decide to do something else with their reverse retro, which they could bring back the other jersey, which is the logo they wore in the 2002-03 season up until 2006. They only wore that for a couple of years. That was a really nice logo. I did really like that. If they brought that back, I would be quite fine with that as a reverse retro, and then they bring back Robo Penguin as a Winter Classic. It's a work of art. I think that's what they should do. But that's my take on it. So let me know what you guys think. Why do you think the NHL is putting their signature marquee game of the NHL season on January 2nd? And what do you think of the jerseys? What logos do you think we're going to see? What kind of jerseys? Let me know down below. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time.